How is everyone today? You know, many times when I'm surfing the internet, when I'm looking at chat boards, when I'm talking to um, clients, when I'm talking to potential clients, what I hear most often is um, when the question's asked, what keeps you from starting a business? What I hear is the word fear. Fear keeps people from starting and growing their businesses. And many people answer that question with fear. And the fact is, many sources and research uh, indicate that entrepreneurs list one of the top things that keeps them from growing their business, that keeps them from starting a business, is fear. And I just want to rehearse through a few items that I have here that I've written down. Fear of not making enough money. That's a real fear. I mean, if you're going to leave your 9 to 5 job, you want to make sure that you're making enough money. Fear of failure. This is a big one. People are afraid of failing. And I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. Fear of change. It is scary to make changes. And if you're one that has problems with change, it is a scary place to be. And I'm just going to let you know, if you're one of the entrepreneurs out there or potential entrepreneurs out there that actually have ADHD, change is really tough on us. Fear of one's own personal ability or self-esteem. Now, this is a big one. If you have a low self-esteem, it's going to be really hard for you to be an entrepreneur. You're going to have to work really hard on your mindset, and we'll talk about that here. Fear of the potential of the idea, meaning you have this great idea or you think it's a great idea, but will anyone else think it's a great idea? And I'll tell you a secret on that is ask people. Ask people, what do you think of this idea? I have this business idea. What do you think of it? Would you buy something like this? Would you invest in something like this? Ask your network. Fear of threats of social esteem. This is where you're afraid people are going to put you down for starting a business, for being an entrepreneur. Fear of the ability to execute. Now, execution is really key to success. You have to execute. And there is a fear for some people that they're not going to be able to actually act on the business that they have. They're not going to be able to execute it. Fear of not knowing enough. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're not going to know enough. That's why you have to be a lifelong learner when you're an entrepreneur. You aren't going to know enough. You don't know enough now. You're not going to know enough tomorrow. You're not going to know enough when you have $10 million in the bank. You're going to be constantly learning. Fear of the unknown. That goes along with fear of change. You don't know what's going to happen. Fear of taking risks. I'm just going to let you know right now, if you're afraid of taking risks, don't become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is all about risk. Starting your own business, growing your own business, it's all about risk. Fear of disappointing others. I get that. You're afraid of disappointing your spouse, your significant other, your family, your children, your parents. Fear of uncomfortable situations. Again, this goes a long way with entrepreneurship. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have a lot of unknown. You're going to not know things. You're going to have failure. So you need to get used to being uncomfortable. Fear of being wrong. I'm just going to let you know, as an entrepreneur, you're going to be wrong, and it's okay. It's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to fail, because the faster you fail, the faster you learn, the faster you can get on to something that's going to work. Fear that you're not good enough, or fear of saying no. Good enough, again, is a mindset. Fear of saying no. You're just going to have to grow some, grow some balls and be okay with saying no sometimes. Fear of setting goals. Entrepreneurship is all about goal setting. It's all about what is the next thing. So you have to get over that fear real fast. Fear that you can't really succeed. Again, this is a mindset issue. You're going to notice a theme here with mindset. Fear that someone will find out who you really are. This is imposter syndrome. And I'm going to just let you know, you are good enough. You can do this. Fear of public speaking, I get that. A lot of people, not even entrepreneurs, are afraid of speaking in public. But that's a fear you're just going to have to get over if you're going to want to raise money for your idea or to sell. You're just going to have to get over that. And this goes along with it, phoning people, cold calling, fear of cold calling. Again, It depends on how much you really want something as to whether or not you're going to be able to get over some of these. Fear of what people will think. Again, that goes back to the social esteem. What are people going to think of you? Who cares? This is your life, not theirs. You have to live your life, not their life. So who cares what they think? What they think doesn't matter. What matters is what you think, what you do, what you can do. Fear of asking for what you want, asking for the sale, asking for the close. This is part of being in business. You're going to have to close the deal. And fear of not having enough time. Now, that should be a fear even if you're not an entrepreneur. You're just going to have to learn good time management skills. The truth is that fear is not real. I mean, it's an emotion. It's something that goes on inside of us. But when you look at it in the context of the world, this pen is real. I can hold it. I can touch it. I can click it. I can write with it. It's real. Fear is not real. It's something that goes on inside of us. In fact, we use the acronym FEAR for false evidence appearing real. Fear is an illusion. We have it within our minds. Okay, something we fabricate in our minds and pretend it is real. We pretend it actually exists just as much as this pen exists. It's a fairy tale that we tell ourselves. It keeps us from doing what we really want. Think about that. Fear keeps us from doing what we really want. The fear of change, when it's greater than the fear of staying the same, you're going to change. Okay? When the fear of staying the same is greater than this fear of this, you're not going to change. All right. Fear of anxiety. That's what it really is. Fear is anxiety. And according to Seth Godin, anxiety is nothing but repeatedly re-experiencing failure in advance. In other words, you're experiencing the failure before you even get there. That's terrible. That's anxiety. Our past failures are real evidence that justifies fear of failure. Okay, so if you failed in the past, you're not going to want to do it again because you don't want to fail in the future. And that is a terrible place to be. Unless you keep doing the same things over and over again, which we call insanity, and you're expecting the same thing to happen, that is insanity. That is the definition of insanity. You have no real evidence that your next approach will fail. You have no evidence at all. So you need to get over that. I could be rude and just say, you need to get over yourself. The truth is you can do this. So let's talk about how you overcome fear. You need to identify what your fears are, number one. You need to know exactly what it is that you're afraid of. I listed a couple dozen things, but you may have something that is that you fear. And so what exactly is it that you're afraid of? You need to identify that. Number two, realize it's not all about you. That sounds a bit negative. I understand that. But it's actually a good thing to realize that it's not all about you. Number three, determine the worst case scenario. What's the worst thing that could happen? All right, you fail. Does that mean that you will die from it? No, you're not going to die. And if you set up your business correctly, you're not going to lose everything. Unless you mortgaged your house, which I don't recommend you do. Number four, to overcome fear, you need to focus on your why. Don't focus on your fears, focus on your why. Why is it that you're doing this? Why is it that you're starting a business? Why is it that you want to grow your business to the next level? You have to focus on that why. Number five, you need to be optimistic. Now, optimism is something that comes from a mindset. You need to be real optimistic about your future and expect better. Now, I use a lot of positive affirmations to help me. Yes, I do. I use positive affirmations to help me to be optimistic. What happens when you're optimistic is it empowers you and it energizes you to take powerful actions to succeed in your business. So you have to be optimistic. Use positive affirmations if need be. Whatever it takes, post them up around your office. Put them everywhere, on your mirror. Positive affirmations. Be optimistic. You need to make a plan or a strategy and then take action on that plan or strategy. You need to have a plan. You need to have goals. You need to have a strategy. Where are you headed? If you don't know where you're going, how do you know where to go? And then this kind of goes along with the strategy part. Stop trying to be a perfectionist. Perfectionists are procrastinators because they don't actually get things done because they're too busy hyper-focusing on one area to make that absolutely perfect. And once that's absolutely perfect, they can go on to the next thing. And then they hyper-focus on that and make that as absolutely perfect. Guess what? It can take you 100 years to get to the perfection that you believe you need to start your business. The truth is you need to start now. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be imperfect. And you need to have a support system. You need to cultivate deep relationships. And I'd recommend a coach or a mentor or even a consultant to help you out. If you need help with that, let me know. I'm glad to help. Get clear exactly why you want to start a business in the first place. That's your why. Why is it that you're doing this? What is the reason why you're starting this? You need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We mentioned earlier the fear of being uncomfortable. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you've been in the same job with the same company for a long time, chances are that you're feeling comfortable. On the other hand, if you own a business, life is going to be unpredictable. You're not going to know what's going to happen next. When I'm done with this video and I've shut this down and I save it and then I copy it because I'm going to use some of the material in my podcast, guess what? I don't know what's going to happen next. Number 12, you want to think like an entrepreneur. Okay, genius. How do you do that? Well, thinking like an entrepreneur, it's going to be life-changing to you. Because entrepreneurs are fearless. You have to become fearless and ready to face every challenge that comes your way. You need to be flexible. I've used the phraseology before, flexibility makes possibility. See, that's an optimistic statement. Flexibility means that you're having some challenges and you need to flex around it. And then that will make your possibilities. It's all about mindset. Number 13 is mindset. Shift your mindset. Most people think that fear is a negative emotion and they want to stay away from fear. It's a very natural response that is a good thing because it indicates that you're pushing yourself and dreaming big if you have some fear. You need a mindset that drives you and your business to the next level because your mindset controls everything. So what I'm saying here is it's okay to be afraid if you use it as a tool, if you use the energy from the fear to help you keep going. What you believe is what you get. Mindset is everything. So if you're going to allow those fears that creep in, I think fear keeps you humble and fear keeps you safe. So it's okay for you to have a little bit of fear. But if you allow fear to wash over you like ocean water, like the waves to wash over you and pull you back out into the ocean, that's where fear becomes a negative thing. And then finally, I want to mention to you, number 14, embrace learning. Remember the fear of not knowing enough? This is where you need to embrace learning. One way entrepreneurs overcome their feelings of fear is to pack that time space of fear with knowledge and information. This process includes doing research. It includes networking with mentors and experts. Learning can be a powerful thing for you, and it's an antidote for fear and failure because the more you know, the more you're able to overcome that particular fear, and then another fear comes along and you are growing and you're learning, and that is the most powerful thing you can do. It's the most powerful antidote against fear of failure. Overcoming fear as an entrepreneur is realizing that failing is just part of the process. And it's part of the game and part of business. It's part of life. And I mention this quite often, but Elon Musk has been noted as saying that you want to fail fast, and you want to learn from it. And I'm probably paraphrasing what he said. Failure is not life-threatening. It's not going to kill you. Failure can be uncomfortable, it can be unpleasant, but it's not going to be life-threatening. It's not going to destroy you. It's not going to kill you. Failure is always an opportunity of one kind or another, an opportunity to stretch beyond where you are today, stretch beyond your boundaries, to learn something new, or to make previously undreamed of connections. In other words, you invent something new. Listen, if you like this video, please like it. Please follow us. Please subscribe to us. Please share this video with other entrepreneurs. I want to get the word out that fear is not something that should destroy you. Fear should not be something that keeps you from your dreams. Fear can be a useful tool, but it shouldn't be a debilitating tool. I'm Dr. Foster, the founder of Maximum Change. Hope you have a great day today. See you soon.